What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Pretty quiet across the board with Bitcoin. Nothing much has been happening in cryptocurrency. Just X looking as usual, throwing loads of comments. And there's something also that I need to really dive into. Why is cryptocurrency, why is there's so many sexual innuendos when it comes to cryptocurrency? I'm going to justify it very, very shortly. But in tonight's live, we're going to be talking about a couple of things. Well, firstly, we're going to be talking about 3 important events that are actually happening. Well, let's assume one of them is more than likely to happen. But the 2 other events are most definitely going to be happening. So if you are new passing through, make sure you stick around for that, because that, in my opinion, will be changing cryptocurrency forever. We know what they are, but do you? Anyways, we're going to be diving into something that has just caught my attention, which could be a heads up into maybe a shock in the stock market. Because the question is, how long will these rallies sustain themselves? We've got big news coming out in a couple of days' time, which is the core price index. The scope for wherever the Fed is going to be cutting the interest rates or increasing them or holding them. He's got a couple of banks on edge. We're going to be talking about that as well. And then, of course, I'm going to be breaking down Bitcoin's price action on what we spoke about earlier on today, how we need to use specific moving averages, even though they are laggard. We want to understand how we can take advantage of certain momentum plays in Bitcoin, which you can actually do the same thing with all altcoins and Ethereum and what have you. I'm shattered tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I really am. Also going to tell you about some trading I did today. Man, the S&P today was a pain in the backside. And I knew straight away that it was going to be a bit of a funny day, but I'm going to talk you through the strategy that I deployed today, and hopefully some of you guys will be able to take something from it, okay? So let's get with the flavor. Make sure you do like the live stream and subscribe on the way out. And then, of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on future lives. So let's get with the program, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good afternoon, chat. I hope you're all well. So let's just do something first, okay? Let me just address this, right? XRP gets lots of traction because of Frankfurt Stock Exchange talking about XRP. But I just want to talk about this thing about crypto and the sexual innuendos. XRP pumping hard. All right, then. Bitcoin and Tao had sex for the first time. And Pepe. Like, I don't know what to make of it, man. Like, it is rough in the space of crypto. You know, we are a special kind of people, you know, and we want Wall Street's money to come into crypto. We've already got that sort of money coming to us anyway. So if they really start, if anybody new to cryptocurrency goes onto X, they're going to leave crypto, man. They're going to be violated at all elements. Okay. Oh God. No, please chat. Please be quiet about this thing here. Okay. That sounds filling the gaps. Oh. The gaps and the spreads. The spreads is a new one. The spreads. All right then, ladies and gentlemen. So what is it that we're going to be talking about this evening? Well, listen, I want to address this with you all because this is going to really help us understand what could actually be unfolding. Now, I just want to address something. I read your comments on the channel and I approve all of them. I get all of them done because we got these stupid spam comments on these wild coins, and they repeat and they repeat and they repeat, and then everyone's comment gets lost. All right? Please watch the lives. You watch 5 minutes of it, you make a conviction, you come in and you're ill-informed. watch the live, then make your comment, okay? My goal is just to get you guys aware of things in the marketplace from my perspective. Do your own research. That's one important aspect to it. I got comments of people saying, you're always telling us to pay ourselves. What? Come on, bro. Okay, here is some sound advice, right? You go and buy every single asset that you can physically afford and never sell it until it gets to a price that represents the unicorn over the rainbow. Okay? Wait for the event of the unicorn jumping over the rainbow. That's when you sell. Come on, man. I will always bang on about taking profit, ladies and gentlemen, because you are here to make money. If you're not here to make money and you're only here because you like the fashion sense of the live streams and my shades, the jokes, if they are funny, the humor, the community, whatever. I've had people come into the live saying, yo, I'm only here because this guy is funny, you know? I get called a clown. I get called all sorts. Now, someone must be pissed off because I'm hoping that information that I'm giving is actually serving you all. Which leads me to the first topic for tonight, a cash cow. What do we mean by cash cow? Well, we're talking about ETFs, and we know ETFs are money markets. Now, if you are new to the logic of an ETF, I would assume some of you have only dived into ETFs in crypto because of the Bitcoin ETF. But this is the true purpose of an ETF. It's a place for diversification. Now, I'm going to talk to you about this cash cow. Yes, listen to me here clearly here. This ETF is raking in billions of dollars. Last year, it took in 12.5. Now it's sat on 20 billion. Why is this ETF going up? This is an example of the money that's involved in ETFs. That's why you hear me talking about, back in the day, $6 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency due to the ETF. What I'm about to tell you with this could be giving us insight into where money's going. Yeah, you want Wall Street in crypto, so you really want to follow where Wall Street money is going. Because if it's not going into the Bitcoin ETF and it's going somewhere else, that's the problem with Wall Street. They are somewhat covert in their operations, and little articles like this will start to get you thinking, maybe something could be changing. So what are we talking about? Over the past year and counting, money managers have ramped up exposure to a handful of big tech companies. The article goes on to talk about how everyone has gone mad for the AI hype, except the investors in this ETF, they are not picking up anything to do with AI. Scroll down for it. Exhibit A is the Pacer US Cash Cows 100 ETF, ticker symbol COWZ, which the assets have seen to soar around 20 billion from 12.5 billion a year ago. This ETF has only had 1 day of outflows, okay, since July 2023. Why is this relevant to us? Well, we really need to understand where the flow of money is going, because if people or investors or money managers, and that's what BlackRock in principle are, that's what Grayscale is. That's what Cathie Wood, ARK Invest, they are effectively money managers. Their goal is to diversify exposure, okay? What is it about this that could reveal to us what could be happening in the near future? Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. Here is the ticker, right? COWZ. Look at this. Since June 2021, when we had the top of Bitcoin, well, near enough, but December 2021, the top of the market, S&P, Bitcoin, all-time highs, happy days, everyone was pumped. This thing traded sideways. This is the power of an ETF. That's why I've said to you, if Bitcoin ETF truly comes to surface and it actually behaves the way an ETF should behave, when Bitcoin's price drops, the ETF should be holding, because people would then go to the ETF as a means to diversify. But the problem is there's nothing else inside of the Bitcoin ETF. So in other words, if Bitcoin's price was to drop, then we'd have a bit of a problem with the ETF itself. Whereas traditional ETFs are made up of a basket of assets, okay? Now, this cash cow right here apparently has wonderful cash flows, and investors are going over to this and planting money. And they've been planting money since July 2023, and they haven't stopped with only 1 day of outflows. That is wild. What is this cash cow all about? What's it made up of? Here is the cash cow ETF series. Let's have a look at what it's made of. Right. ABEV, Qualcomm, Lenacor, Valero Energy Corp, Philips, Marathon Peak Corp, Nucor Corp, Health Corp, Cencora, Horton. What does it all mean? Well, let's just look at it. It's made up of energy, consumer discretionary, healthcare, materials, utilities, consumer staples, information technology, communication services. Okay? The biggest holding inside of this ETF is energy. The next one, consumer discretionary, and then, of course, healthcare and materials. The less exposure is in communications, utilities, and others, okay? Where's the Magnificent Seven? Where's AI in all of that? Where's tech in all of that? What does this sort of reveal to us? If this wild thing right here, okay? Wait, hold on, kill that. If this ETF has had non-stop inflows of investors plowing money into it, and to the sum of 20 billion so far, can that be giving us a heads up of what could be happening in the future? Because remember, ETFs are designed for investors to diversify their exposure. And if money managers are coming to this asset class, okay, I nearly said it, they're coming to this asset class. What's leading them to do that? Isn't it about buying Nvidia? Why don't you buy Bitcoin? Why aren't we getting involved in Microsoft? Why aren't we getting involved in Meta, Amazon? Okay, let's get into those big companies. Yeah, man, the volatility is there. Usually when investors are somewhat concerned or scared about something in regards to the economy, and granted, we do have the Fed pivot coming up very, very soon once they start cutting interest rates, but don't get it twisted. Money will be cheaper, but the market will react pretty aggressively. Investors like to turn to energy, all right? They like to plant themselves in energy because regardless of whether the economy is up or down, we still need to consume energy. So that could be oil. That could also be commodities as well. They like to go into these sectors. Go back in time and have a look at the energy sector. And all the stocks in the energy sector come subprime mortgage crisis of 2007, 2008. Go to COVID. Go to any critical event, economically speaking, in the stock market. You will find that energy is always either making a move to the upside beforehand or it's sort of holding out, not correcting as much as the bigger marketplace. This thing is packed with energy, all right? Healthcare. Defense stocks, that's what this is made up of. So with so much inflows going into this, could this be giving us a heads up that investors are really looking to diversify because they look in the future and think, that might not be looking too good. Going into the chart, going over to the yields itself, you can see the 2-year yield is still trailing around this 4.69% zone. The 10-year yield itself climbing up ever so slightly to 4.3. This is not good. We don't want inversion on the yields, all right? So now this is where we are economically speaking, okay? NASDAQ and S&P today have been, oh, God. They have been horrible, and I'm going to talk to you about my trading today very, very shortly, okay? So stick around for that. But this story here of this asset class, all right, doesn't hold Magnificent Seven stocks, makes its popularity even more remarkable. They're not buying the best stocks out there. People are preparing for something. And this ETF is an example of it. So when you start hearing in the news ETFs start coming up, and I'm not talking about Bitcoin ETF, investors are seeking money markets. They're looking for safety. They did it not so long ago, Okay, do any of you remember the time when there was this shortage of cash in banks? People kept on like withdrawing money, and there was this cash flow issue, and banks were getting a little bit concerned about things. Why were people not depositing money into banks as savings accounts? Where were they putting their money? They were going into ETFs. That's why ETF money markets were soaring prior to just before the end of the new year, before the end of the year last year, so before the end of 2023, when we had that Silicon Valley madness, all right? So this is an example of how, what to be mindful of on how Wall Street operates. Remember, cryptocurrency is now part of Wall Street. Sorry, it's the truth. You know, we've seen some fantastic inflows in cryptocurrency regarding this ETF, which now leads me over to the big three events that are going to hit cryptocurrency. So before we get into that story, a little bit of checking in what's going on. What we got here? 1,349 of you people. Thank you very much for passing through and giving me your time to relay as much information as possible in a short amount of time. Only 361 of you are feeling the flavor this evening. Come on, man. Don't you want Bitcoin price action? Do you want me to talk about alts? Liking the live is the basic requirement of this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. So please do like the stream. It helps with the algo. And if you like what you're watching, hit the subscribe button. Can I look at Hbar? I'm going to look at altcoins this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Only if we hit 1,300 likes. That's the deal. I ain't going to look at no altcoin. Can we please? Anyways, let's get with this discussion. 3 events that are going to hit crypto very soon. The first event, Bitcoin halving. Well, we know what that is all about, and everyone's all pumped about it. And this could be the lead up to the halving. But according to JP Morgan, the halving and the Ethereum upgrade, which is the second big story, has already been priced in. Now you're starting to get crypto Wall Street conversation. Before the Bitcoin ETF, and if you've gone back and watched the live streams, there have been many instances when I've pulled up articles from JP Morgan, from Goldman Sachs, in reference to the stock market rally. They will always come out with the idea that the stock market has priced in the idea that the Fed's going to not cut interest rates. The stock market has priced in the idea that we're going to see higher interest rates for longer. The stock market has done. Now they're starting to do the same for cryptocurrency. Now we're going to start seeing the impact. When JP Morgan talks, certain investors listen. Now, what I'm trying to convey to you all is cryptocurrency now is not going to be subject to whatever someone says on X. It's really what the street says now. Okay? Look what happened today with regards to XRP. The stock exchange, Frankfurt, started talking about XRP. Well, what happened there? Well, the altcoin, or should I say the stable coin, has decided to unstabilize itself and make a very interesting move. Okay, been pumping up pretty aggressively today, so that's great news for us. That's good, you know, happy days for any XRP holders. Hoorah! Man, guess what? It's going to come back down again because that's what it does. Come on. Prove me wrong that this coin is not a stable coin. Stuck in this 60 cents, 50 cents range. My God. But again, we're starting to see people of all... How can I put it to you? People of influence, entities of influence, talking about cryptocurrency. Okay? Now, we don't know why they've mentioned it. Okay? Could be that Euro could be starting to get onto the bigger pitch. I mean, they are trying to push these CBDCs on the horizon, which is really bad. But anyways, this is what I'm talking about, how the impact of it can actually start to have a problem or be a problem for crypto. And it can also be good as well. All right. So the first event is the Bitcoin halving, which is happening very, very soon. The next one is the Ethereum upgrade. So if you're not aware, the Dencun upgrade is coming up very, very soon. March the 13th, to be precise. If I go over to here, Yep, March the 13th. What does this mean? So to put it into simple terms, this Dencun upgrade is to improve and scale the layer 2 protocol, okay, to make life easier. All right, so if we go into an article, where is it? It's over here, the Ethereum upgrade. And this is what they're talking about. They're saying it's a pivotal component of Ethereum's ambitious initiative, the Surge, which brings a series of Ethereum improvement proposals. So it just means that it's going to cost less to transact on the layer 2, makes life easier to move money around, which pretty much explains why Defiliama has started to see an increase, or lots of people are starting to stake right now, and popularity in the DeFi sector itself is starting to get excited because it means that things are going to be costing less based on this Ethereum upgrade. So that could be justifying why Ethereum's price could be going up as well, which leads me over to the next and final discussion, which is the ETF for Ethereum, okay? That's the next big event that's going to change cryptocurrency. The word on the street says that because Bitcoin's had the approval of the ETF, we're more than likely going to see Ethereum, okay? So we go into Ethereum's price action and we can see that Ethereum has done very, very well today. I mean, it is actually killing it right now. So this could be the result of this Ethereum upgrade, all right? So when the upgrade happens, like last time when we had the upgrade on Ethereum, we saw a little bit of a pullback. So we could be going into one. So be mindful of March the 13th. But I don't think that's really going to happen unless there is going to be some complications with the upgrade. But I do believe March, when the FOMC comes out, that's when we're going to see some really awesome volatility. That's when I think we're going to see the movement. Okay. Now, here we go. Right, I'm just going to answer this. Tino. Virus X is the next black swan. Combining lowering interest rates will send Bitcoin to 11K this year. I'll buy your Lacoste shirts. Much love, Tino. When you've got a price in mind. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, there's no price for us to even... I mean, look, Bitcoin in principle is halfway to the magnificent 100K that everybody's waiting for, okay? You're getting Capo getting stick left, right, and center because he's just adamant that everything is going to collapse. Bitcoin is due to drop, okay? Can I just say something? How many of you would be... Now, this is what's going to... I mean, some of you might not like this, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I'm going to give you both angles. I've got the balls to stand up and say it, okay? You might actually think it, but you won't want to do anything about it. But let me bring you the reality of things. Has cryptocurrency just tethered to the back of the AI run? In other words... is the AI story just a bubble that's about to burst? And Bitcoin has managed to just tether onto the back of it. Well, let's just work it out. People think that Bitcoin can't go down. Well, we look at the ETF and we can see bright as day that we've got big entities holding cryptocurrency, all right? They may be playing the bigger run, the bigger picture. With BlackRock's involvement and Grayscale's involvement in cryptocurrency, all right? Mainly BlackRock because it's the Wall Street, and Arkwood as well, okay? Now, Kathy doesn't think twice to sell shares, right? She sold her shares on Coinbase just before the news announcement. Well, let's just go and have a look at what happened to Coinbase straight after their earnings, all right? So let's just go over. All right, she sold $34 million worth, okay? And where we at? Well, she kind of missed out on that. You know, I've projected $230 a share for Coinbase, and we're nearly close towards that bit, okay? But she won't hesitate, because these people are dealing with numbers that are only favorable for the shareholders, the investors. So they've got to keep making money, all right? Now, what I'm saying to you guys is cryptocurrency right now has made some successful moves to the upside. The hype is there, but it's not. If we go back into this chart right here, have a look at the block. What's the web traffic like in cryptocurrency? Well, we're still not really being searched across the board. There's not much excitement going on. So it's only about the people in the space of cryptocurrency. So all the dudes that are in crypto, they're like, yeah, baby, Bitcoin. Okay, so we need the average Joe to start searching for it. And that's where we will start seeing this little rally here continue to the upside. We haven't had the euphoric state just yet on Bitcoin. Okay, this is the Glassnode on the unrealized profit and losses for anybody that is new passing through. Mad love and respect. So when this starts to get to a euphoric state, then we can assume, yeah, okay, cool. Let's start talking about Bitcoin. Well, let's just start diving into other things on Bitcoin. Look at this. How many people are currently in money, out of the money? Okay. So far, there's really no one that is out of money in Bitcoin. 49 million addresses. Okay, 95% of the addresses are towards and at the money or in the money is the 49 million over here. So look, everyone has made money on Bitcoin, all right? There's not really anyone that's out of money per se, okay? So this is showing information for addresses that bought between 48 and 65. Well, we can see that those guys are going to be holding on to dear life in hope that when it gets to the all-time high, those guys will be effectively earning money and they'll be in profits, okay? But just look, the bigger picture is that everyone has made money on Bitcoin, okay? Now, what I'm trying to convey over to everybody is this. I get that you don't want to miss out on moves to the upside and everyone's excited about crypto, and I am certainly not pissing on your fire. But what I'm saying to you all is, do you have an exit strategy? Because if you don't know when to get out, you will never get out. That's all I'm trying to convey to everyone. Have an exit strategy so that there is some aspect of you enjoying the work or the holding. Listen, holding crypto is a pain in the ass. It really is. How do the people feel about 65K Bitcoin and it's slumped? And they were still holding on. Diamond hands, you got to give it to them. But I personally think they just don't care. They didn't care. I'm still holding it. If I can buy as much of it as I can, I will sell my house. And that they probably thought that when it was 40K. And then they sold the house and they ended up living in a box. And at 16K, they were contemplating wildness in their lives and start selling their lungs. They sold their lungs and they probably made the best investment decision of their life if they did buy Bitcoin. But I'm just trying to add a little bit of humor to it. What I'm trying to say to you all is this. You don't want to take profits, don't take profits. If you have a longer term picture, maybe 5 years, 10 years, and even coming to the chart right now is irrelevant. You don't even need to know what Bitcoin's price is if your scope for holding Bitcoin is over a period of 5, 10 years, okay? You don't care about it. You just want to pick it up, all right? So if I say take profits, ladies and gentlemen, that's because it's ingrained in my mind to take profits, all right? That's one of the hardest things to come to and accept when it comes to trading, to take profits, because you can take loads of trades and they can all be profitable. But if you don't take the profit, it doesn't make sense. People are trying to get into profitable trades by finding systems that will give them the ability to extract profit. So when you get that profit, what you're going to do? Sit there like a wet fish and be like, what do I do now? If you don't know or have any exit strategy or some form of an exit strategy where you can extract liquidity. Now, forgive me, I know some people, it might be a bit difficult to get rid of the crypto, sell it, of course, depending on where you are in the world in terms of taxes and what have you. I get all of that, all right? But, just take something off the table. All right. And when people comment, you always tell us to take profits. All right, cool, man. Be my sell liquidity. I'm fine with that. And I'm sure everyone else, as the pattern watchers will say, we don't mind because this is a zero-sum game. One man's fun is another's hell. Okay. Now, don't take what I'm saying as a means to alarm you and warn you. Oh, my God, I better sell. And then tomorrow Bitcoin shoots up. All right. Just know your exit strategy. If you've got one, if you don't have one, make one. And understand when you will be likely to lock in some profits. Lock them in. All right? Cool. Okay, then, cool. Right, let's get with this flavor right now. Talking of which, I'm going to get into Bitcoin price action in a short moment. I'm going to talk about what happened today with me and my trading. So let's pull up this. Well, it's actually this. Where is it? Where's my thing here? Yeah. So I trade last week's trades. We were over here. We cleared 5.5K there. On these are all my funded accounts. We then managed the next day up to 14. Then we didn't trade, obviously, over the weekend because you can't trade futures over the weekend. Then we traded today. No, to yesterday, we didn't take a trade. Today, we took a trade, and we managed to increase our balance to around 20,000. And this was today's activities, okay? And I'm going to talk you through what I did and where I took these trades so that you guys can use this strategy for yourself, all right? I make reference to this strategy all the time when I'm updating the guys after the live stream. So at the end of the live stream in New York, I do an update and provide a few setups on the NASDAQ and the S&P, mainly the NASDAQ for the guys in the platinum tier on the website. So if you haven't got that, go check it out. Go to tradersreality.com and I'm going to show you the setup that I took today so that you understand what's going on here. So in front of you is the Rhythmic. So when you've got a funded account, I'm only zooming in on this because I don't think you guys can see it, okay? But in a sec, zoom into this when I start talking about what I'm going to show you right now. So check this out. So we passed 2 funded accounts again today. One needed 15,000 as a target, and the other one needed 26,000, and we achieved 26,700. So one was for 300K funding, and the other one was for 250K funding. Now, these accounts right here, so this performance account, which is a funded account, we cleared 2,752, and then we took a stupid... This was a very interesting position right here, which I'll be talking to you about in a second. We took a loss on one of our accounts at minus $596, and then 67. This account only made $167, and then on this account we made $3,377. So we're just shy of around 6K for the day. Okay. Now, where did I take these positions? All right. So I'm going to talk you through it right now. This is EXO Charts, okay? Now, what I like to do is I trade the S&P, but I monitor the NASDAQ, all right? So this is where you want to zoom in. I'm going to pull up. This is the NASDAQ right here, and this is the area that I traded, right? The first thing that I always try and get people to wait for is a sharp move away from the VWAP. So important. Now, whether it's Bitcoin. So look, I'll show you this, okay? This is the NASDAQ, right? Hold on. This is NASDAQ. This is Bitcoin, okay? Do you see anything different? They're always coming back to this VWAP. Always wait for an aggressive move, okay? And then wait for price to get back to the VWAP, because if they mean the business, then they'll continue, okay? So this was the NASDAQ right here, all right? NASDAQ was dropping down. Now, I was in a drawdown today, all right, of around 2.5K. And the reason why I was in the drawdown is because I was effectively waiting to see how long it was going to take them to mark prices down. And I was waiting to see how much were they going to drop price. So this is where the depth of market comes into play. So this is where the S&P was, and this is where the NASDAQ was today, where I decided to start opening trades. So my entry points on these positions. So let's just take this one here for the performance account 61. My entry price averaged from 5,076 and 5,083. So I scaled 15 contracts, okay? So at 5,076, I exited on the one position at 5,082. And then, or I closed off all at 5,082, but I started the position at 5,076. Okay. Now, that was the one account there. The next account I scaled in at the 5,074 and closed off again at the 5,082. Okay. So 5,074, where is that on the chart? Well, on the depth of market, that's where it is right here on the S&P. So they had made the move to the downside with NASDAQ. They started to work their way back up. The retrace back down, you're looking at it, you can say to yourself, okay, what do you see? Well, you do see a little W formation right here now, don't you? It's easy to see, isn't it? And the one thing that they didn't leave behind, which was a clue for me to suggest that they were going to start working their way up to the VWAP, was the fact that there were no imbalances down below. So they had manipulated the range quite aggressively, all right? This information I'm going to take, we're going to relate it to Bitcoin, so just stick around for this. Now, this is the NASDAQ. If I go over to the S&P itself and pull that up, this is where we are. This is where my entry was. 74, right here. I exited at 82, which was the peak up here. So that is what I'm trading, okay? Move it down, 82, roughly. That is all I'm trading. I'm not out for the big moves. No way. As a scalper, I'm only looking for this movement. So look at it. Drop to the downside, W formation, shift towards the VWAP, exit strategy, okay? Away from the VWAP, exit strategy, because that was my exit strategy. My goal was to either see price get to the VWAP. Should I add? Yes, and then scale out of it as it breaks away from the VWAP. Happy days, okay? But just look, massive move away from the VWAP. Go to EXO Charts again on the NASDAQ. Exactly the same thing. Massive move away from the VWAP. There's the gap right there, okay? Trade back into the VWAP. We were at the lowest point of the profile for the day. Where is it? Here we go. We're at the lowest profile for the day right here, okay? We then ended up reversing back up towards the point of control, all right? Now, take the same logic and go and apply that to Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin price action, okay? You've had big move away from the VWAP. They come straight back into it in the same session. Big move away from the VWAP, takes a little while, drops down to the VWAP. Moves away from the VWAP, comes back down towards the VWAP. Just wait for Bitcoin to move away from the VWAP and aggressively at that, so that you can understand where you are in the chart and you can exploit the true tests of the VWAP. Something like this, okay? It's huge. Look at the bids down here. They came in, they bought loads of Bitcoin, and then they shifted price to the upside and came back into the imbalances. So where's the hybrid system in all of this, Tino? Well, just go over to the S&P and have a look. 1 minute time frame. Where were we? What do you see? What I'm always saying to everyone, split your chart in half. Green vector candles. First green vector candle above the 50 EMA. Up, retrace, continuation. Bang, there it is. Up it goes. Back to the 200, back to the 800. And this is where I'm getting out. Look left, vector candle recovery. 2 minute time frame, look left. You see there's red vector candles inside of this range. 5 minute time frame, there's red vector candles recovery. That's all this system is. But look, there's a pattern, there's a structure there. There is intention. VWAP is the next logical spot. After the vector on the 5 minute time frame, well, 2 minute time frame, first green vector, it starts to climb up. Happy days. Do the same thing with Bitcoin. And this is something that I'm always talking about with everyone. Find a structure in the chart and run with it. Okay? So when we look at Bitcoin right now, I mean, Bitcoin hasn't really gone anywhere today. It's not really done that much, to be frank with you. It's just been holding out inside of this zone, which tells me that they could be getting ready for Thursday's data. So tomorrow we've got the preliminary GDP coming out for the dollar. Okay? So we could see a little bit of movement right there. But Bitcoin could get up to its old antics and hold price sideways yet again. It won't be the first time. Look, they can do it all the time. After a big move up, they'll consolidate sideways and everyone's going to be like, that's it now. This is the high. This is the high. This is the high. Okay? But that strategy in itself on EXO Charts is all about just understanding price from one VWAP and back. That's all it is. I'm always talking about the VWAP with Bitcoin on the Bookmap. So looking at the Bookmap, what have we got? We've got quite a few offers coming in. Okay, so look, we've got the offers to the top side, which actually started to disappear earlier on. But we've got a few bids that are likely wanting to get filled if Bitcoin's price comes down towards the VWAP again. So here's the VWAP for the session. We've got 403 Bitcoin orders down below at 56,300 zone. And just looking above, we can see that we've got quite a few offers coming into play. There we go. Quite a few offers at the 58 zone and 390 offers at the 57,500. But the book is imbalanced to the bids. So that means Bitcoin could be coming down very, very shortly. But going over into the Coinank, we can see that it's all starting to get a little bit clustered over here. Look at that. Got this big order up here, 32 million at 64,600, guys. That is crazy. And this has been in the chart for 17 hours. 500 Bitcoin is due to be sold at that point, all right? So we can now make logical sense of Bitcoin's all-time high before the FOMC meeting, okay? That's potentially where it is. And 100K before the FOMC meeting. Is that what I said? No, all-time high. I said all-time high, didn't I? Yes, all-time high. All right? So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Looking at Bitcoin's price, some of you are probably wondering, okay, you know, do I get in now? Because I'm guessing most of you are feeling like you're missing out on something. Well, not really, because now the moving averages are starting to get compressed. So now we're going to see the potential for a false move coming into play, which will be the setup to continue Bitcoin back up, all right? They're loading up on Bitcoin right now, and core price index will be the deciding factor, okay? Okay, mention of defense stocks. Can we look at NuScale, Power, SMR on the market, Smith, Mad Love? Okay, then. Well, let me just get this done first. All right, altcoins, do we want them? Do you want altcoins? 724 likes. You don't want altcoins. Okay, then. That's a bit of a shame, really. Let me just have a look at these two gentlemen's comments. So, Hbar. Let's have a look at Hbar for a second. No altcoins, man. Like the stream, ladies and gentlemen, we get the altcoins. USDT, here we go. Hbar, 10 cents. This thing, right, has been doing so well. Absolutely brilliantly, okay? Consolidating around the psychological range. I will advise to you that unless it does something inside, you need to see it break one of these ranges first. Because remember, Hbar has been going up nonstop. And of course, the idea of the altcoin market, it is at 63 right now. Oh, now it's at 61. So everyone's like, the Bitcoin, you know, the bull run's coming soon. The bull run's coming soon. The altcoin market season, is coming soon, coming soon. So just be mindful of that. When you see them consolidating with Hbar, let them break away from these points at some point this week. So if they do break away from the psychological high, away from it, and it's like Friday, the retrace back down will be the cue for you to understand if they're getting ready to continue higher. You're looking for green. You're looking for this. Wait. Here we go. You see this structure here where they've marked up. So they've broken out. They've come back down again. You're looking for this structure where green vectors are breaking above the 50 EMA. So you need to see price coming back down, break away from the psychological high, come back into it, and use it in the 50 EMA as momentum to continue higher. All right? In essence, you're looking for the pattern, which is this up there. Okay? Cool. Now, what we got? Bro, nearly read it, man. Let me just go through this gentleman's comment here. He wants me to look at SMR, okay? Here we go. SMR. NuScale Power. Here are some statistics on this. This is designs and develops small nuclear modular reactor technology. Okay. Got a reduction in funds. 43% of funds actually own this stock. Man, that is wild. At $3. and it trades average 1 million shares per day. 1.2, yeah, 1.8. Wow. Okay, then. So, energy, right? It's recently been listed. It's IPO back in December 2020. It's just been dropping down non-stop, but earnings per share is due in 16 days. I'd be looking at other companies inside of this sector itself. So, Constellation, energy, all right, provides power, natural gas, renewable energy. You can see energy going up, $155. That is crazy. Backing the story, what we said earlier on, the ETF, okay, with energy. You've got Ellomay right here doing great. What is it? Energy. Engaged in diversified energy and infrastructure businesses in Italy and Israel. Look at that. $19, marking up, very small market cap. And so far, some funds are getting involved, but management holds 28% of the stock, but it actually has a debt of 358%. So just be very careful with that, okay? So yeah, those are similar assets in that class of the SMR. So maybe try and check those out as well, my friend, okay? Tino, Coty has broken below the 1 hour 50 EMA. I know Coty has been doing some very interesting things, okay? Where we at with the likes? 836, 1,500 of you, man. I'll do deep dives on altcoins, man. 1,500 likes, if you don't mind. Thank you. Okay, then. So, quite a wide psychological range at the start of the week. And when you see really wide psychological ranges, you just want to be careful with this. It has been going up quite significantly. So just be prepared for some retraces with this one. Go to the higher time frames, 4-hour chart, and anticipate that they could actually bounce from this. Right, this is what you want. You want to see Coty consolidate rather than drop. The more they consolidate, the closer the 50 EMA is going to get to price, which would then suggest that momentum's kind of stopped, even to the downside or even to the upside. But just remember, always mark off the midpoint of the vectors so that you effectively can get yourself a deep discount on this coin, okay? Because this is a sharp move up, guys. Look, don't get it twisted. It's a sharp move up, okay? There will be some profit-taking opportunities. So all you want to do is just mark off the midpoints of the largest vector candles in Coty and just use those points as potential areas that you could load up at a discount, okay? So just be mindful. So in our minds, logically, we would assume that if Coty is going to continue, we're going to see it come into this area here, consolidate ever so slightly, and continue back up. Or it alternatively can come down all the way down to this point right here, consolidate, and then continue back up. So we're seeing these gains right now on the altcoins, and we're nowhere near the altcoin season. The logic would say that as we progress into the altcoin season, the altcoins that have made the progressive moves to the upside and started to pull back is when you start to load up on those altcoins, because if it goes to altcoin season, the logic says that those coins are going to start continuing to move back up. So whatever altcoin you're looking at and it's made a big move, if it's moved to the upside, the pull back towards any critical moving averages, you need to use the 4-hour or the daily time frame. When it's pulling back to these sort of areas, this is where you start paying attention. If it fully recovers the whole of the move, then you're probably going to be back to square one. I wouldn't pay attention to it. But what you want to do is focus on the assets that are consolidating at least 50% of the move that they've already done. Because when altcoin season kicks in, then that's when we can expect assets to continue up from there. Okay, cool. Where are we at with that? Can we look at what else we got? Tino, can you quick look at Pan? It's a Pan Alto stock. Pan Alto stock. Okay. Pan W. Whoops. Here we go. Pan Alto Networks. Here we go. What is this? Provides network security infrastructure products for enterprises, service providers, and government entities. $314 a share. That's not bad, man. Look at that. Huge amount of funds are trading this. This is something to pay attention to. Network security infrastructure products for enterprises, service providers, and government entities. So you can imagine that they're getting quite a few contracts from the government. This thing is an absolute monster. Look at it. Fund ownership. That is crazy. Look at that. 3,256. I've seen bigger, but 48% of funds are playing this. And of course, management only holds 3% of it. And earnings per share is projected to be coming in higher. And let's just have a look at where they are on the daily and quarterly earning. Look at that. Quarterly earnings doesn't seem to be accelerating. There is a deceleration in its quarterly earnings and sales itself. All right. So you really want to see an acceleration. But if they are maintaining sales and earnings every single month, okay, and revenues every quarter, then this one is a good dividend stock, in my opinion. Okay. With 5 million shares per day, what do you expect? All right. Okay, then, cool. Seeing as you guys don't want to like the stream, I'll just get on with these altcoins. And all the people that have left, they're going to miss out on the altcoins. Here we go. Where we at? We've got Floki coming into play. R and Clay, some not even decent volume for an altcoin, depending on the market cap. It's pretty relevant. I mean, we've seen some world tokens coming into play. We're seeing some of that come off. Here we go, USDT. See, daily time frame starting to pull back a little bit. Did sweep up towards that $9 mark. Big profits are going to be coming out of this. Yeah. So again, take the midpoint and then take the top side of it, go down to the low of the move, and then marry up where the vector candles meet up. Take the midpoints of the vector candles and then look to try and assume that if the altcoin market's going to continue, then we're going to see this is your DCA ranges. Okay. But you want to try and see it hold out the range. Can you play Jupiter? Yeah, Jupe. Where is it? Jupe. Very interesting asset. Just recently listed. Quite choppy, but I would be expecting Jupe. This thing is big, in my opinion. It's a very interesting asset. Someone was talking about it, saying that this thing is going to be not bigger than BNB, but it's going to be somewhat close to it. Okay. So just keep an eye out on this one, all right? I mean, from a trading perspective, just be careful because it is just going sideways. Not really that much fun. We got a huge wick that they could be coming back into, so just be careful with that. Any sharp moves up and then they instantly come back down again, they could be breaking it lower, so just take that into consideration, okay? Houdini, thank you very much. Tino, how can I set up the bid and the Coinank settings like yours? The Coinank settings... All you need to do, guys, is go over to here, footprint, add the footprint indicator, and all you need to do is switch over the ask sell, bid sell, all right? And just stop the video as I'm doing up and down right there. Go to liquidity heat. I don't even have that on. Large order. Just make sure, oh, God. Here we go. So just make sure that you have, where is it? Is it that? No, it's not that. Footprint. No. Where is it? I don't even see it. Should be here. Large order. There we go. So these are your settings for the orders. So make sure that Bitcoin Spot, Bitcoin Perpetual, and ETH Spot, ETH Perpetual are coming into play. I mean, we can actually increase. Don't know why that's gone down. It shouldn't have gone down. But yeah, those are in principle your settings. Okay, so just take that into consideration. All right. Cool. What else have we got going off inside of this? Where is my statistics for that? Okay, yeah. Come on, here we go. So a few altcoins that are currently at the VWAP, okay? We've got DYDX. This is important. DYDX USDT. 1 hour time frame, trading sideways at the psychological levels. Right, listen, most altcoins that are inside of the psychological ranges, pay attention to them, because when the core price index comes out, if it is as bad as they're making it out to be, then there could be a sell-off happening across the board, okay? But if it's not as bad as they're making out to be, the market will welcome that, then we should see some inflows coming into cryptocurrency. And if they break out from the psychological ranges, again, wait for the breakout, retrace, continuation. Either direction, depending on the news announcements. Okay, can you look at NOS? Is that a stock or are we talking about a crypto? NOS, USDT, I'm guessing. Is that it? 600x in 3 months. What? Is this it? Are we talking about this? Nasana? Ah, Skywalker, I hope you're taking some profits from that, man. Is that the one? Tina, what do you think about Gala? It's starting to break out again. Gala USDT. Oh, my days. Gala is actually making some good moves. Happy days. All right, then. So it's gone beyond its ranges. Again, with Gala itself, we're just going to higher time frames, 15-hour time frame. Just look left. We're going into vector candle recovery zone. We've got one more vector point. which will put it at 0.04707. So just be mindful of that. This is a big area which they could be selling away from. So just take that into consideration. I'd be taking something from this as well if you are a holder, or maybe you can load up. Okay. Tino, can you show us how to read order book imbalances in favor of offers or bids on the Coinank, not the large order that you've shown us? Oh, how to read all of that. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Consistency. I'm going to start the live tomorrow with that conversation. I'm going to dedicate the live tomorrow to that because it will be fitting in terms of orders coming in. All right. But I just want to thank you all for tonight. I've kept you way too long this evening, so I'm really sorry about that. But if you are new, hit the like button, subscribe on the way out, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on this conversation tomorrow regarding how to read imbalances on the Coinank. All right? Cool. Mad love and respect, ladies and gentlemen. Again, sorry it's a long one, but I'll be checking in with you all tomorrow. Peace.